Hi everybody, this is Steve. I just wanted to record a quick video to talk a little bit about the first peer review for the YouTube Ancient Style project. The first reason I wanted to record this is because I'm trying an experiment with Canvas. So Canvas is this new system that we're all living inside of to, for the class to work. And for those of you who maybe took an online class last year, it was a different system called eCollege or EMU Online. And this system has a few different features and stuff. And one of the features is that I, as a teacher, can set it up so that peer review groups are assigned not anonymously. Well, you can do that too, but assigned by the machine. So in other words, I'm not going to put you into groups. Canvas is going to put you into groups. I don't know exactly how this works. So we're gonna learn together how this process is going to go. But basically what should happen is that in the discussion area below, you're going to post a link to the Google Doc draft of your essay. And then what should happen with Canvas is it should put you in a group where you are reading 3 other essays. This should happen if you submit the essay, your draft, by midnight Monday. It should turn around and assign people into drafts right away, so first thing on the 26th. So you should be able to start reviewing each other's projects on that Tuesday. If something goes wrong, don't panic. I'll fix it. I'm just letting you know about that ahead of time. Okay? So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is be sure, if you haven't started writing the essay yet, you might want to think in terms of reviewing the assignment and rethinking about some of these things. And let me just mention a couple things that come up routinely with this assignment that people kind of forget to do, okay? The first thing is you should include a link to the video that you're talking about, the YouTube commercial that you're talking about. But you should also have enough description in your essay itself so that your reader understands what the video is about, without necessarily having to watch the whole thing themselves, right? So in other words, you need to provide at least some summary of what the video is, right? The second thing is that even though we're all together in the same class, and you're writing to your peers and you're writing to me and things like that, you should assume a reader beyond the class. In other words, there are things that you need to explain as a writer to your reader to have them navigate the essay. You're going to want to have an introduction that explains why you're doing this in the first place. You're going to want to write this essay in a fashion such that if somebody found it on the street, they could actually make sense of it. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that right now, in part because that's something that we're going to talk more about with some of the next unit with on style in relationship to E.B. Strunk-and-White and Joseph Williams. But it's something to keep in mind here. In other words, don't just you're writing an essay for people to read. You're not writing an essay exam question. It's probably maybe the best way to put it. Along those lines, you're going to need to quote and paraphrase in some detail from the Crowley and Haughey reading on style. Don't assume that any of us have committed that stuff to memory. I certainly haven't, right? I need to, every time I go back and look at that reading, I need to remind myself again what these things are. So you need to sort of explain the various figures and tropes and elements of style that you're talking about in your essay, and you need to apply that to the video, and you need to have that make some sort of argument. In other words, so you notice some kind of figure, you notice a repetition of a metaphor or a repetition of an oxymoron in your essay or whatever. What does that mean? You need to explain why that actually is important for understanding how the commercial that you're analyzing persuades people to buy that product. Okay. Anyway, so that's the thing about the essay. So do those sorts of things in the essay. When you get done, you post your essay here. You can start peer review in the 26th, which means that you're going to be assigned some essays that you need to read. You're going to be assigned 3 different essays that you need to read from your peers, and you're going to comment on those essays in Google Docs. So, read the essays and comment within the doc itself. And then you're going to complete the survey. I have a link to below here, the Ancient Style and YouTube Project Survey, which basically you'll complete that survey 3 times for each one of the peers that you're reviewing. And this is just another sort of kind of rubric, if you will, to help structure some of the advice that you're able to give to each other on these projects. Okay. So you need to complete your peer review for this project by January 27th. You need to post it by January 25th. You can't be late on this and expect people to be able to read and comment on these peer reviews in an effective manner. And you can't be late on the peer review because people need to be able to revise it, and I need to start looking at them too. And one last thing about this, you need to have as complete of a draft as you can have done. So I've had students before say, well, do I have to be completely done? And there's a part of me that wants to say, well, no, you don't have to be completely done because you're never completely done. But then there's a part of me that kind of wants to say, well, yeah, you kind of have to be done because I don't want you to hand in like a paragraph or a page of like, well, this is maybe where it's going to be. So you should be largely complete with your essay on January 25th. But if you don't have everything set in stone, like if you don't have the works cited page done, stuff like that, that's fine. And yes, you need a works cited page because you're using MLA style to write these essays. That's sort of a given in a class like this. Now, two last things about this. I've started doing something the last couple of years that I think students like, and I think I like too, which is students do peer review first, and you get comments and feedback from each other. I will follow after you and give you peer review comment or give you comments like a peer review beginning on January 27th. Okay, and I will do that for each of you. Hopefully, I'll wrap that up by the end of next week, give or take. We'll just kind of see what terms what the schedules are like. Then you'll have comments from me, you'll have comments from your peers, you'll have the survey results from your peers, and hopefully you can use that information to revise your essay and make it better for when it's due. And I believe the due date for this is February 8th. Then that's when I'll post a grade on it. But when I grade these on February 8th, I'm not going to give, or beginning of February 8th, I'm not going to give a lot more comments because I've already given a round of comments. So in other words, you'll get comments from me before it's due, but not that many comments from me after it's due. Okay. The second thing I want to mention here at the end is I want you to think in terms of the big picture of the class, because there are 3 large writing projects like this. There's a project that I have yet to post about, there's this project. The next project is about a style remake. And there's a project I have yet to post anything about that's going to be about genre. There's a 4th project in the class too, which essentially asks you to make a revision of one of the first 3. And at the end of the semester, I think that there's some readings actually on the schedule right now about this. At the end of the semester, we'll be reading a variety of different takes and philosophies and interpretations of what does it mean to revise. So some of these essays are, about strategies. Some of these essays about what, revision and the big picture means. But the point is the last unit of the class is actually about revision. And so you're going to have a chance with this essay to revise, make some changes to it. So if even at the end of after getting a grade on this, if you're not happy with it, you'll have a chance to revisit it and make it better. I hope that helps. But whatever questions you have, post those below too. But the big thing is that certainly by Monday, by the end of the day on Monday, make sure that you post a draft of your first of the peer review, for peer review of the YouTube and Ancient Style project. Okay? All right. Whew, it's a lot. I'll see you in line.